Hello everybody, welcome to ixam's LegalBee. This is Amrita, your law faculty at ixam. Welcome to the mock test series of ixam that is started exclusively at LegalBee for law questions from different law topics, subjects, every day at 11 a.m. आज मैं कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया का डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी टॉपिक डिस्कस करने वाली हूँ एंड द क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम दिस टॉपिक. दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक. प्रीवियस वीडियोस में हम लोगों ने प्रीएम्बल, फंडामेंटल राइट्स, ऐसे कई इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स के क्वेश्चंस डिस्कस किए हैं. अगर आप लोगों ने ये सारे वीडियोस मिस कर दिए हैं, प्लीज विजिट द प्ले लिस्ट ऑफ आवर चैनल एंड येस, डोंट फॉरगेट टू सब्सक्राइब. If you have any queries, you can also reach out to us, write us on hello@ixam.com. You can call on this number 9205524028 and visit our website as well for all the interesting courses that are available for exam preparation and attempt the mock tests as well. So let us start with our today's topic, Directive Principles of State Policy, Part 4 of the Indian Constitution. Fundamental rights, this topic and the correlation between both. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एरियाज हैं, कोर एरियाज हैं कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल लॉ के. आई विल ऑल्सो बी कवरिंग सम क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम द कोरिलेशन बिटवीन फंडामेंटल राइट्स एंड डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी इन दिस वीडियो टुडे. सो वॉच दिस वीडियो टिल द एंड. Let us quickly start with the first question. As provided under Indian Constitution, separation of judiciary from executive is a dash fundamental right, fundamental principle, directive principle of state policy, principle of rule of law, features of the Indian government. So this is an interesting question. It is very logical and very simple if you just know the basic concept what it is. Separation of judiciary from executive, this feature is there in Indian Constitution, but it is a part of which topic? Answer is C, Directive Principle of State Policy. You should remember the article also over here, especially the important directive principles. I would suggest try to remember the article numbers. Article 50 talks about separation of judiciary from executive. Next question. As provided under the directive principles of state policy, education shall be provided to children dash. Now this education related questions are very much expected from constitutional law because you are having provision relating to education in fundamental rights also, you are having this in directive principles of state policy also, and you are having this in fundamental duties as well, and that has been added by a constitutional amendment. So that's why this is very important topic and very questionable from exam point of view as well. So try to prepare it like that. Go through the amendment also, 86th amendment of the constitution 2002 में आया है ये, and try to remember the age groups because this becomes confusing. Directive principles में कौन सा age group covered है, fundamental rights में कौन सा age group covered है, and this question is relating to DPSPs. Answer is B, below the age of 6 years. This is covered under Article 45 of the Constitution. As provided under the Directive Principles of State Policy, education shall be provided to the children. I am extremely sorry as the question has been repeated again on the slide. It is third question. Let us go to the fourth question. And you can download these PPTs as well, okay? I forgot to mention that. आप इन PPTs को download करके रख सकते हैं and this can be a record for you. All the questions can be there with you. Anytime you can do a revision from this. Which of the following is not a directive principle of state policy as relating to international peace and security provided under Article 51 of the Constitution? Promote international peace and security, foster respect for international law, encourage settlement of international disputes by arbitration, maintain just and honorable relations with the nations, between the nations, none of the above. So which is not a directive principle of state policy that they have asked. So this not has made it bit confusing, or else the question was very straightforward. But if you just apply common sense also, you can solve this. First of all, try to remember that we have this directive principle in the Constitution under Article 51, promoting international peace and security. So what all things are covered under that? So answer is E, because all these are covered under this. So this question is actually very good for your revision because this gives you a complete glance of the article number, the provision, and also the features that are included as a directive principle of state policy. All these things are included. So that's why none of the above will be the correct answer over here. I've picked this question specifically because directive principles पढ़ते वक्त हम लोग ऐसे provisions भूल जाते हैं. International law हमें important नहीं लगता है, होता है, students की mentality होती है. So try to remember such kind of articles also because these are directives These are directions given to the state for governing. So international arena is also one important area for governance of state. So this is important. Okay. Which of the following directive principles of state policy has been added to the Constitution by 42nd Amendment? Very expected question this is. 42nd Amendment is very important amendment in constitutional history, and all the changes which are very substantial and questionable that you need to remember. From 42nd Amendment, I have discussed questions with you relating to fundamental rights also. When I discussed preamble, that time also I discussed this. And in Directive Principles of State Policy, also I have added one question relating to 42nd Amendment. So 42nd Amendment, जिसे हम mini constitution भी कहते हैं, try to go through that amendment. Constitution पढ़ रहे हो तो आपको ये landmark amendments अच्छे से पता होने चाहिए. Whichever exam you are preparing for, and if it is having constitution as a subject. So in directive principles, which principle has been added by 46th Amendment? That is equal pay for equal work. Okay, so the correct answer is A. This directive principle has been added that everybody has to be paid equal for the work. It does not mean if suppose a woman is doing a equal labor work, for example. So it cannot be discriminated on that basis that she's a woman, so she should be paid less, and a man should be paid more. So these kind of discriminations are not allowed. Another important topic from DPSP is Uniform Civil Code. So this I would suggest that try to remember the article number and the provision where it is in the Constitution. So this is a provision based question that I have taken over here. So it is there in DPSPs or not first, that is the question. If yes, under which article? It can be no also. It is not guaranteed only. It is guaranteed but as a directive principle of state policy. So it is not guaranteed as a directive principle of state policy. It is guaranteed but under article 44, 46, 55. तो ये question options देखकर थोड़ा सा confuse हो जाता है इंसान. But if you have clarity, you can answer it. Part 4 DPSPs only covers this, and that is covered under Article 44 of the Constitution. Which of the following DPSPs state that state shall endeavour to protect and improve the environment and safeguard the forests and wildlife of the country? This is also very prominently asked in exams. Article number is generally asked, or what they do, they just give you the article number. They give you which of the following is there. They either delete wildlife from that, or they delete forest from that. They delete, they just add environment and they delete this entire part. So that is something which you have to remember. Entire article you have to remember that which article is having all these provisions are going together. First remember that. Okay. Environment, forest and wildlife. All these three are guaranteed as DPSPs and they are guaranteed in same article. 48A, 42, 47, 51A, 44. So which is the article? Article is also easy to remember, 48A. Okay, 48A of the Constitution covers this: protection to environment, improvement to environment, safeguarding forests and wildlife of the country. So henceforth don't forget this article if you are studying DPSPs and Constitution. Another important area, I have tried to cover the core areas so that you get a list of important DPSPs also. Some, obviously 10 is not 10 questions is not sufficient. You can solve more questions by visiting our website and check the mock tests that are available at ixam.com for more questions. Article 40 of the Constitution mandates that dash village panchayat. Now this is fill in the blank kind of, because you should be clear with the entire thing that is there in the article, not just the number or just the brief idea. You have to have the clarity. Formulate village panchayat, or state shall take steps to coordinate village panchayat, state shall take steps to concentrate them, to organize them, or to establish them. Very deep question this is actually. But you should be prepared for all such kind of questions. So the answer is organize village panchayats, that is there under article 40 of the Constitution. Village panchayats shall be organized by the state and endow them with such powers and authority as may be necessary to enable them to function as units of self-government. Which of the following statements, next question, which of the following statements best describes the relationship between fundamental rights and DPSPs? I had told you this two correlation is very important part, and I will be covering some questions from that also. So 2 questions we'll discuss from that and then stop with this video here. Best, how you can describe the relation between fundamental rights and DPSPs? Are they unrelated and independent? Are the DPSPs more important than fundamental rights? Are fundamental rights superior to DPSPs, but they are not completely independent of each other? That means they are dependent, or they are completely independent. DPSPs are superior to fundamental rights, but they are completely independent of each other. Fundamental rights and DPSPs are interdependent and complementary. So which is the most appropriate answer that you have to choose actually? Always remember, now you may feel that some answers are also correct. So remember, you have to choose the best and the most appropriate answer from the options. So the most appropriate answer over here will be E. Fundamental rights and DPSPs are complementary. This word is actually discussed by the courts in various cases also. They are interdependent and complementary to each other. DPSPs gives a roadmap that the state has to do these things. Directions are given to the state, and preamble is giving what? It is giving goals. And fundamental rights are essential. Without fundamental rights, nothing can happen. So that is essential for protection of individual rights, freedoms. So these 2 things are going to work complementary to each other. Last question, in which of the following cases Supreme Court has propounded the doctrine of harmonious construction to solve the conflict between DPSPs and fundamental rights? I hope everybody knows what is doctrine of harmonious construction. If you have studied interpretation, you can actually remember this very easily. This is very important doctrine, and also from the correlation point of view of DPSPs and fundamental rights, this doctrine is very important. Doctrine of harmonious construction is actually the solution to the problem of conflict. So which case has solved that conflict actually? Kerala Education Bill case, Champakam Durarajan, Binarva Mills, Keshwanand Bharti, Golaknath. All these cases I would say are landmark in constitutional law. So आप time निकाल कर इन सारे cases की summaries पढ़ लीजिए. This is very very important. And such kind of summaries, exam keeps on providing such kind of summaries to students. Of course, our goal is to prepare 50% faster. Students should be able to prepare 50% faster. So these are some important tips that I'm trying to give you when you are studying constitutional law. So harmonious construction is that the concept is that both the provisions need to be construed harmoniously. That is hand in hand. You cannot say that one is separate from other. We have already studied that both are complementary and supplementary to each other. So this case has solved the problem. Correct answer is Kerala Education Bill case. Supreme Court has mentioned in this case in 1957 only that the doctrine of harmonious construction is going to be the solution of that. First of all, you have to avoid a situation that a conflict can be arising. Obviously, legislature has added both these parts in the constitution. What is the objective? It is not going to be to contradict or create conflict in 2 provisions in the same law. So the presumption that we will have here is that we have to construe them harmoniously because they cannot have inherent conflict. So there is no inherent conflict between FRs and DPSPs, and the courts are going to interpret in such a manner that both should be given effect as far as possible harmoniously. So this was a very important landmark case in this area. So this was all that I had to discuss with you all from DPSPs. For more such kind of content, don't forget to subscribe to LegalBee. Prepare 50% faster with us at ixam. Thank you everybody.